back in the main office. That's, I guess, from the last time I filmed in here, it's a little bit sparser than normal. My bestie has my plants still, except for my one aloe vera plant that I knew could survive with me being gone because it's so little maintenance. But today we are doing my January setup, and I am very happy to be back in my space to do these bullet journaling videos because, my lord, as we saw in the last video, doing those in Japan was definitely a life risk to my camera. It was very chill doing this setup, and I'm so ready for this new year, and I just feel very, very refreshed. So I hope you guys are pumped for it as well. Let me know your New Year's resolutions in the bottom comments, and let's get into the first setup of 2023. Alright, so cracking right in, as you can see, it's a very similar vibe to my April setup, and that is because when I thought do the Year of the Rabbit and was seeing all these super cute things from Loft and from the community, like this postcard, which I didn't know had 3 cards in it. Oh, there's more than one! Oh, there's 3 of them. That's so cute. So this postcard I chose out of the 3 that I bought from different convenience stores, and this one was just like the cutest, and plus it had a spot on it for me to actually write January, even though everyone knows that January is the start of the new year, so I didn't really need to write it, but I wanted to anyway. And plus, like, doing this for a cover page was going to be exponentially faster now that I have so little daylight hours right now, combined with the full-time hours of work. Very little time to record, so the next few setups will be less drawing heavy and will be more using scrapbook techniques to do a cover page. But they will return for certain months, don't you worry. So for this, I just brought in a lot of my Valentine's Day cards because that was pretty much the only pink paper that I have, and I didn't want to bring in too much red because I felt like it looked too harsh with this card. So I started with adding more of the stamps of the cute yellowy orange in some of those bunnies and stuck with the pink paper. Did a little bit of accent colors on the paper, and I was so happy to have my stamps back. My goodness, I love this look way better than using my markers. Oh no! I don't have my glue! Shit! Haha! Beautiful. Oh, expensive as hell. Okay. Jeez, I wish I could have gone to Walmart. Just deal with the price, I guess. Oh. If any of you guys want to try this instead of like doing a normal drawing for your cover page, I always suggest to, do the paper tearing and whatnot first before gluing anything down. Literally, like, just tear all the paper that you think will work and test out the placements. Oh, sorry, I'm like burping over here. Test the placements before you solidify anything, because once that fabric tack is a little bit dry, you're not tearing that thing off, because it will tear your paper. I can promise you that. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. Sorry. Okay, we're back. 3rd time's the charm. So yeah, make sure that you test where you want everything to go before you glue anything down. And I did use the glue stick for this washi tape. Don't know if you're new or not, but I did mention the last time I used this line that for some reason it just didn't stick as nicely as other washi tape that I have. So far, this is the only washi tape line that I've bought from Notebook Therapy, so I might have just gotten like a weird defect one, but none of the tape actually like sticks on its own, which is kind of annoying to have to glue every single time. But I mean, I'm hoping that's not a normal thing. We'll see when I eventually have money again to buy another set, because like their washi lines are absolutely beautiful, so I don't want to not buy any more from them. But if it keeps doing this, then obviously it's not the best. But anyway, yeah, so don't really know what else to say about this cover page, so I'm just gonna chill out and wait. moving on to the quote page. So I wanted to bring in this main sticker. It's probably my favorite one out of like all the extras that I bought from Loft. It's just so pretty and cute, and I love the iridescent gold. And I decided to add one of my favorite quotes that I learned from one of Casey Neistat's old school daily vlogs.
One of my favorite movies is called Glengarry Glen Ross. Here's a quick scene.
A, B, C. A, always, B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. You close or you hit the bricks. You can't close shit. You are shit. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it, because you are going out.
And I decided, like, I think it was like about a week ago now, I convinced my parents to try watching it with me, because I was like, Casey Neistat talked about this, and I saw a small clip of it from his vlog with this really cool quote and everything, and it made me want to watch the movie. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know why Casey Neistat liked it so much. The only good part of that movie for me was the Alec Baldwin rant, and that was at the very, very beginning, and he was only in it for that part. You find out very little about his character, and the rest of the movie is basically just the rest of the guys that he was ranting at, that, they were failing at their jobs. They were just complaining about what they needed to do for their jobs, and it was a very concealed movie. It was really only set just outside of their office and in their office the entire time, and then I found out it was based on a play, so I was like, okay, that makes more sense. But apparently it's like this cult classic film, and I just didn't understand the appeal of it. So if you've ever seen it, let me know what you thought. If it's just me feeling like this, but even my parents felt the same way, but they're also not as much of a movie buffs as I am, so that was more of expected from them, but I wasn't expecting to dislike it so much. But anyway, there's my small rant there, so that's why I chose that quote, because the quote resonated with me even if the movie didn't. So, moving on to schedule page, went the traditional block calendar, because this month is going back into working full time. I enjoyed my 3.5 weeks off being home from Japan and getting myself healed up again. I'm still not like 100%, still trying to lose the weight that I unfortunately gained from that whole trip. But if I want to get back down to the size that I was happiest, and not only the size, but like my top fitness level that I was happiest at, it's going to take me a solid 5 months of going 3 days a week. So I'm not expecting to lose this weight immediately, especially the unhealthy way. Now I'm glad I know at least how to do it. But I had to start a full-time job once again, and it's an older job, and I'm very thankful for my boss, because I used to work with her and she needed a full-time assistant manager. So working with her again, which very happy about working with specifically her, but it's never fun when you're used to not having to work full-time for 6 months, then you have to go back into it because of how much in debt you are. But I am still going to try to look on the bright side. We're going to go with the always be closing quote and work my butt off and basically attempt to do Casey Neistat's vlogging schedule, because he worked full-time, sometimes more than full-time, on top of his daily vlog, filming it every day and editing every day. I mean, he definitely didn't get enough sleep compared to how much sleep I need. But if I can at least try to incorporate what he did with still prioritizing 8 hours of sleep, then I don't think I can do a daily vlog, that is for sure. But I'm pretty sure that I can do working out every morning before work, because I talked to my boss and I was like, I do my best work with my videos and my best attempt at, working out properly in the mornings. So she's giving me mostly evening shifts, because this job, I'll be quite frank, it's easy. It's a very brain dead job. You don't have to really think a lot while doing it. And for this content, not specifically for like bullet journaling, because this can be pretty mindless as well, especially when you're used to like whatever spread you're doing. Mindless in like a good relaxing way, but like the Leaf Factor stuff that I have to upload once a week now, that requires a lot more mental energy, especially now that I'm getting into doing more like script work for these videos. It just takes a lot more planning, and I've learned that I cannot work out after an 8-hour shift. I used to be able to kind of swing it when I was at my other full-time job way back when, in the embroidery era, like what? I think I quit in like 2018. It was a while ago. But I am not 22 anymore, and I just don't have that energy. So I have to do all of my intense stuff in the morning. So it's a bit hard to wake up early with it being winter in Canada. But you know what? using all these springy colors for January this time helps a little bit. As you can see, another beautiful set of stickers I got from Loft. They have like a fuzzy texture to them, and they're just so pretty and lovely. But the only thing with using more textured stickers like this is that you cannot put them in the middle of your pages like at all, because it'll do a slight bump in your paper when you close your book or like flip your page to work. So you really have to use these kind of things on like the edges or top ends of your book so it doesn't interfere with like you writing in general. And then these are the ones, like, they had such cute Year of the Rabbit stickers. Like, I am gonna miss all the cute sticker access that I had in Japan. I'm glad I stocked up, like, so much. Literally, the majority of stuff that I bought in Japan was just, like, stationery stuff and Tokyo Movie merch. But, like, that's the Leaf Factor topic for a much later day. And maybe for April, too, because of the season 2 coming out. But that's for a bigger spread, and I can't wait to do that one either. But anyway, so doodled up the edges of my to-do list and only added like a little bit of red because in this sticker sheet there was barely any, so it was just a lot of pink. All right, moving on to our sleep productivity and habit trackers, or all of our trackers, I should say, because this is the first time that you guys will see a different set of trackers, but honestly, it was mostly still using charts, so I didn't like go into like full detail about it. But basically, I started this about, I think, 4 months ago, when I started to take my channel, I wouldn't say like take it more seriously, but was realizing that I really need to time out my content a little bit better than I have previously, because even though I wasn't working full-time, like school was basically full-time hours and more. So to try to at least semi keep up with it, I really had to have different sets of trackers for specifically content. So my habit tracker page I set for just like the basic things, you know, like the basic health stuff. So vitamins, cleaning up my space, hot yoga and the gym, and editing and backup stuff. So, unfortunately though, that little scrap of black there you see by the cleaning chart, oh god, my eraser did it and I was so angry about it. This month, I'm really trying to focus on my physical health, just because that last month in Japan really screwed up my blood clot arm. I got an unlimited pass at my hot yoga place, so that's why I split up the gym and hot yoga trackers instead of just having one gym tracker. In February, I obviously can't afford to do like the unlimited monthly yoga things all the time because it's actually pretty expensive there. But I did it this month because the hot yoga, it's not just like regular classes you can choose. You can also choose like a specific stretching class. And so it's basically 75 minutes of stretching. So I was doing a lot of that, try to get myself back to normal, because man, sitting in those chairs constantly and not really moving too much, and then on top of that the last month of just like moving so much of my stuff in my rooms and just moving in general with all the suitcases and whatnot, it took a strain on my arm. So yep, it's been a bit hard to keep up with both ones since I started full-time again, but I'm sure it'll be easier once I don't have to have that looming over my head of like, you gotta do yoga as much as possible because you paid for it. Once it's just like the gym, I will only be doing hot yoga once a week. So, moving on to my brain dump. Sorry about that. I accidentally tripped over my own cord when I was moving around on my chair. Whoops. Anyway, to the brain dump page. I'm not entirely sure I'll be using my brain dump page much this month. I was using it a lot during Japan. So when I do my full flip through of my past year, you'll definitely see like a lot of, not really doodles, just a lot of brain notes, because there's so much to keep track of when I was in Japan. Just like, it was a lot. So probably won't need to do it nearly as much just because, like I said, full-time work. The thing that's taking up the majority of my time, I don't really need to make a lot of notes on. At least in this bullet journal, I actually decided to switch it so that my work notes are not in this bullet journal anymore like they were a few years ago when I was back at this job. It'll actually be its own notebook, because now that I'm the assistant manager, there's a lot more paperwork I gotta keep track of. I was gifted a Jack Skellington notebook by my boss. She wanted to send it to me in Japan, but unfortunately, sending things to Japan is a bit more complicated. I mean, there was even a time where I had to do that for the school a few years ago, and the post office guy didn't even know how to send it, but luckily someone behind me was actually from Japan, so they helped us do it. But I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so she waited until I got back, and now it's my work notebook. So this bullet journal is specifically just for like planning out my content in daily days, you know? Nothing to do with extra work at that job. Design of this weekly spread, I tried to bring out more of the blue in the sticker sheet, but I'm gonna be honest, by the time I finished this spread, I didn't actually like it that much. I feel like the weekly spreads that I made after I filmed this video look a lot more cohesive with this whole theme and sticker sheets that I used. By the time I was done, I was like, I don't think there was enough blue to warrant doing the highlighted blues on the days of the week. But let me know what you guys think, and maybe I'm just overthinking it, I don't know. Plus, I think I messed up with choosing the thicker marker to do the days of the week. With the font that I used to, you know, it's called Romantica. It's just obviously very like handwritey type of font. I feel like I thought initially when I did it on Sunday, I was like, oh yeah, this looks good. But then when I started doing it on the rest of the days, I was like, why does it suddenly look thicker? I should have used my really thin ball pen. So that was another thing that made me not like the spread as much, but you know what? Sometimes you make something and it doesn't exactly turn out how you thought it was going to in your head. So live and learn. Live and learn. I am so sorry. My mom just started showering, and I apologize if you can hear it through my door being closed. But here's my final flip through of my January setup. Very pink, very cherry blossom, love the bunnies, and even though I definitely did something very similar already, I like that I still got to do the Year of the Rabbit because I loved that theme and I loved using these cherry blossom washi tapes. So let me know what you guys think. Which one did you prefer? Alright, so there is the end of January 2023. I am sorry that it's coming out practically at the end of this month, but we're getting back on track. This seems to be my mantra. Just playing constant catch up until, you know, one day maybe you're actually on a proper weekly and monthly schedule. But, you know, February's coming up, and as the recording this outro, I'm actually on track for that. So it should be released the first Wednesday of February. So I'm looking forward to that because we're going another bit of a Japan theme, as I, you know, hinted at in my new BUJO setup. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you preferred this rabbit setup compared to the first compared to the first rabbit setup I did in April. And yeah, I will see you guys, I guess as of the recording of this video, in 2 weeks. I will see you guys in 2 weeks for February setup. Bye!